This Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back to switch things up in Disney's Freakier Friday.
Totally, yes.
It's an absolute riot, and the only movie that can be described as
So much weirder than the last time.
What last time?
it's the frequel
You ready?
we've been waiting for.
That absolutely slays.
What deeply out of touch old person came up with that?
You did.
Wow.
Don't miss the comedy event of the summer for all ages. Disney's Freakier Friday in theaters this Friday. Get tickets now. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
This episode is brought to you by the world's first reposado from Tequila Herradura. Made with slow-cooked, hand-harvested agave sealed into oak barrels and aged 11 months. Before being enjoyed in your glass. Experience the world's first reposado. Tequila Herradura. Please drink responsibly. Responsibility.org. Tequila Herradura. 40% alcohol by volume. Imported by Brown-Forman, Louisville, Kentucky. Herradura is a registered trademark. Copyright 2025 Brown-Forman Corporation.
It's Wednesday, Adams. I see you're trying to distract yourself from your own banal thoughts. Let me help. Here's a recording thing made of my latest root canal.
Wednesday, Season 2, begins August 6th, only on Netflix.
Pie in the Sky Media. This series contains adult language and descriptions of graphic violence throughout. Listener discretion is advised.
We are recording. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hello, and welcome back to another bonus episode of Criminal Mischief with Carolyn and Branden. I'm the Branden of that duo, alongside, or not really alongside.
Wonderful powers,
Yes.
activate.
With the great Carolyn Osorio, who we are lucky enough to have joining us again this week. Carolyn, thank you. Welcome. Great to
Yes.
see you. How was your week?
It was great. Busy.
Good.
Busy.
I hear
Yeah.
you have an atmospheric river about to sweep through the great Pacific Northwest. Are you ready to get rained on?
We are ready as always. And you know what? The rain doesn't stop me, baby.
I mean, more than
love it.
normal. Like, you guys are going to get walloped with these storms. Have you
Yeah,
seen it?
no, I know. And we have a leak in our roof. And so I've been dealing with that. But I feel like it was kind of like
90 minutes.
Yeah.
90 minutes.
What do you mean 90 minutes?
I would have it fixed in 90 minutes. I haven't even seen it yet, but I could diagnose it and have it fixed in 90 minutes. It's the kind of guy
You know
I
what?
am around the
It's
house.
like wonky, where it's like the original log cabin was like from 1930, I think, because this is the lake that we live on is like a, it was like a summer lake for people,
sure.
right? And there's like all these crazy additions, and it just looks like the pitch is all, and anytime the people come and look at our stuff, and they're like, bye.
Wow.
Yeah, have fun with that.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, because all of those little weird addition places where roof lines meet and stuff, that's ripe for leaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're battening down the hatches.
Good.
And a little rain is as long as our power. See, the big thing for me is if the power goes out.
Yeah.
That's when life really begins to suck, because you live like a pioneer.
Yeah.
And everybody runs to Starbucks.
Do you have any like generator power or anything?
We have, it's kind of like we've always talked about it, but there's always something else that comes up that we just, and then it's kind of like, okay, well, anyway, I don't want to get into the whole thing. Our house is not your traditional house where you can just have it somewhere tucked away.
Right.
Like it would be, what? Let me guess. You have a generator?
No, I don't. I want to get one though. I totally want to get one.
I know.
Yeah.
So it's like a heat pump. Like I've talked to my husband. I'm like, let's just do it.
Right.
And then there's always some other thing that we want to do. Like, no, let's just go on vacation.
Sure. Of course. Years ago, my grandparents on my dad's side, they live up in New Hampshire. And my grandfather, when they built this new house, he like thought of everything and had backup power and had generators and had everything. So you flip a switch if the power was out. 30 years, never used it. The thing just sat there gathering dust. Okay. And was, by the time he died, it was it was a dinosaur of a machine, right? It had been there are 30 different iterations of a better version of this, okay? And so it was just sitting there. And so my grandmother just parted it out and sold it, right? Sold all the different components of it and said, we've never used it. We're never going to need it. That winter, they had a series of blizzards. Power was out for like 6 fucking weeks. It was down to like 7 degrees. And here's this little old lady, right? And so my dad had to go up there and had to get her into a hotel and had to do all of this kind of stuff. And he's like, what about the generator, Ma? She goes, I may have been a little rash with that decision by like getting rid of everything.
Oh my gosh. My grandpa's like rattling chains like that one.
Why did you get rid of my generator?
I 30 years I've been waiting for this moment.
Right, but now with with Tesla and getting the power wall and all of that, like if we get the panels on the roof, the solar panels on the roof, because like all of our neighbors have them, right? I'm like trying to keep up with the Joneses here in my neighborhood because they all walk by going, had a negative power bill again this month, asshole. I'm feeding the grid. Like, okay,
drive me insane.
Right?
That would drive me insane.
It drives me nuts, but they're right. They do. They actually add power to the grid and they get credits on their electric bill. So, gosh, do that.
That's so funny because that is like so not the way Seattleites work, where everybody would just be like silently judging you. You know, you've probably heard of the Seattle freeze. You know, they'd have their little stickers on or something, or like they'd have a certain keychain that everybody but us would have, you know, and we'd be the type of person that we're like, we don't fucking want the keychain, okay?
Yeah, of course. You could shove that keychain up your ass, right? Come on.
Of course.
But so, you know, we have one car that's a hybrid, so we might, I don't know. We might do it.
These are really first world problems.
Living in Los Angeles, in California, there are so many incentives to get, like, it basically, they're not lying when they say it'll cost you nothing to do it. It's just, do you want to pull the trigger on it? And do you really trust that, but there are enough of my neighbors that have done it successfully. And they're like, yeah, no, it's great.
No, I actually love any kind of environmental, like if we could do it on our house, I would do it in a second. I mean, I love that. And then you're not dependent on, if the power goes out, like you're good.
Yeah. And our house is perfect for it. We've got this huge, just sloping roof on both sides. It's like a ranch style house, east facing. We get the morning sun all day, and then we just get beat up by the late afternoon sun. And it's, but anyway, okay. So I purposely didn't Google this case all week because I wanted to be surprised because I knew nothing about it. And I would have lost every bet that I made on what actually happened with this. I would have lost every bet.
Well, you tell me what you thought was going to happen.
I thought,
what did your creative little brain come up with?
I thought that Victor the vampire was just a persona that he kind of created to look cool in front of his girlfriend, that there wasn't a real Victor, and that plan B was just pie in the sky. Okay. That there was no way that they were going to have the balls, that this kid was not going to do it. Right. And that she was going to fall back into the kind of controlling mother kind of syndrome and not be able to go through with it. Right. Even if he kind of manned up and was like, yeah, I'm coming over, I'm going to kill her. She would have ripcorded and said, nope. Let's go to plan C, or come up with a whole nother plan with different letters that aren't as confusing. Okay. So that's what, that's what I thought was going to happen until the point in the narration where you're saying, and was stabbing her while straddling her back. I still didn't think it was going to happen until then. It was really weird. It was really, really strange because, I mean, it's, and this is just a crazy, just opinion, I guess, maybe, or belief, is that murder is such a grown-up adult thing, right? It's like a grown-up decision to make. It requires a certain amount of physical strength. It requires a certain amount of planning, unless, of course, it's a crime of passion and whatever. Okay, yes. But like with again, not to belabor the point here with Tommy Sullivan, but he was a 14-year-old kid, and he planned it meticulously because he might not have been strong enough because he was only 14, right?
For everybody who doesn't know, but you should know, Brandon's referring to The Devil Within. He's got a new season coming out, season 3. But that is the very first season.
Correct.
Was with
Correct.
Tommy Sullivan in season 1.
And all of this is to say that these two people, Go to John and Gypsy Rose, regardless of how old they actually were, they seemed like kids to me, right?
Yeah.
They seemed like kids, especially, even worse, they seemed like kids playing dress up, you know?
Yeah.
Like with Go to John's list of like rules in the house, they were so sophomoric, like no clothes, obviously, unless it's sexy, right?
But you know what? It became adult very quickly. Like I could only read the first 3. Like the other ones, as they went down the line, I could not.
Oh, really?
Read. I read them, but they were very, very adult.
Like Red Room, like what's those series of books?
No, very sexual.
Right, no, right.
Very,
with very, what are those books with Christian Steele? What Anastasia? And,
are these romance books?
Yeah,
Why do you think
they were just huge. It was
I have no idea.
Phenomenon. It became 50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey.
You know what? Okay, I've never seen the movie. I've never read the book.
Okay, so they were very like, it was BDSM. He had all of these rules. He had the contract, that she had to sign, like all of that kind of stuff.
I think that that's why I started off the show, the episodes as I did, because the sex was a huge component in this. I don't care what anybody has to say about it, because they were in their own worlds together, and it became. I think that, I don't want to get to how we feel about Gypsy, because I feel like it's too premature to have that conversation about it. But I think that she was just as into him as he was into her.
Yeah, agreed.
Agreed. And I think that, it became like that fantasy. I mean, she even called herself, like in the documents I got from the police, her return bus ticket was Bella Go to John was in the name.
Wow.
Like Bella from, I don't know if this is.
So like she married the Beast.
Right. She married her, what was the guy's name again in
it was Beauty and the Beast. It was Bella, right?
No, the
Belle.
vampire one.
I'm sorry, Belle was Beauty and the Beast.
Belle.
Sorry.
And so that would have been Beauty and the Beast. She used Bella, and I have to wonder if it's a nod to Twilight.
Oh, of course. That's Kristen Stewart. That's Kristen Stewart's character. Kristen Stewart's character from
that's what I'm saying. And just the whole idea that he was like.
But isn't that childish?
Wait a second. The whole idea that he was like, you need to stay in the bathroom because I don't know if I'm gonna.
I might kill you too. She's like, oh, it's so titillating.
But wait a second. When I watched those clips, when I got the first clip in the first episode, I forgot that when they first met in the movie, she walks into the class and Edward just kind of is like, oh, like he's going to throw up. And what it is that he's so into her blood that he that he cannot, like, she interprets it as like, oh, he doesn't like me. He doesn't like me. And he's really like, I want to like devour her. So I'm sure that there had to have been that, right?
Right, but you're making my point. Doesn't that seem so childish?
Yes.
It's so sophomoric. Yes. And then so for them to go in together on a murder, that's why I didn't think that it was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, believe me, I hear you. And I'm just saying that I think that the whole, raging hormones that we talked about, and like it had to have played such a huge role in that they were in it together, the Thelma and Louise, and of course she obviously wanted to escape this. Under the whole underlying point is that she felt like she needed to escape this mother who was inescapable, so she had every reason to want to get her gone. The thing is that why did he do it? Why did he do it?
Well, I have a couple things about this, but first, so she was what, 20?
She was 23.
23 when this happened, and was he older than her?
She thought that she was 19.
Right, but she was actually 23.
She was actually 23. He was 26.
Okay, so all of that raging hormone stuff was about 5-6 years too late, right?
I don't think that's true, because I think they were both arrested in development, because you got to remember, she wasn't able to do any of that stuff when other teenagers would normally be doing it. She was stuck in a wheelchair at home with her mom.
Yeah, she had a lot of making up to do. That's a good point. A lot of catching up.
And he did too. I don't think he had much going on before her either,
Oh, Victor the Vampire, he pulls chicks, first of all. Let's put that to bed right now. Put that to bed right now. He protects them by locking them in the bathroom in case his bloodlust is uncontrollable, and you're fucking next. I might love you, but you're next.
I know, but just imagine how powerful that is. Like, and she bought into it, like, oh my gosh, yes. I mean, right? Right?
It just seems like a 15, 16-year-old girl's like fantasy, who.
Right, because she never got to be a 15 or 16.
That's the missing piece here in my kind of thesis, is that arrested development. When you said that kind of clicked in, like, okay, she probably is more than 5 or 6 years behind emotionally, or in terms of like relationship experience or whatever. She had zero. All she had were these raging, beautiful, romantic, savage kind of stories in her head about what love actually is, and she found a partner who said that he was a fucking vampire. She's like, oh, well, this is perfect, because one of the greatest love stories of her life was in Twilight.
Well, and here's another component to it too, is that everything she's seeing is through the lens of the internet. That's the only time that she can, and everything's so amped up on the internet. Like, everything is like fantasy. It's not even like social media stuff being real.
Fake. Yeah, it's all fake.
It's all fake. But she didn't know that, because she hadn't been out in the real world, without her mother constantly like over her shoulder, literally holding her hand, holding a stuffed animal. So everything she's gotten is through Disney, through these movies, through the internet that she's like, finding out, Googling at night by herself.
Yeah.
It's not, she doesn't have girlfriends that she can talk to.
Wow. I have a weird take, and I hope I don't offend anybody or get myself in trouble here, but I'm obviously, listen, she didn't deserve to get murdered. She did not deserve to get murdered. I just want to say that right now. And there's a big part of me that, for the reason that I'm upset that she got murdered, was because I wanted her to be exposed for what she did to her daughter publicly and be punished for that. Right. Because it's such a, inconceivable way to treat your own offspring. Do I think she deserved to be murdered? Again, of course not. Of course not. But I think she deserved to be punished for that, for the just reckless child abuse for years and years and years and years for personal gain, or, okay, maybe being punished is a little too harsh, but get treatment at least, because obviously it was something going on. She had a screw loose up there. That's not a technical term, screw loose.
I think that people who listen to the show know that that's your technical term. Yes.
They know what I mean. Mental
I think it's funny how you like to protect yourself. Like, hey, I know, if anybody didn't know, I know this isn't a technical term, but it fucking should be.
It totally should be. It would make things a lot easier to communicate.
I mean, I think that
half a whack job is what we'd say in New Jersey.
Would she even, like, what would exposure be to her, to the mom who did this?
I think it would be less for her and more for awareness.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, would she even have had any contrition, or like what would she do if she was exposed? Because, like, for most of us, I think that we would take being murdered and I don't want to knock on wood, I don't even want to put that energy out there, than to actually ever cause this kind of harm to your child.
No, I hear you.
I mean,
and you're right. It's a really good point. How exposure would affect her. Cause I don't think there would be contrition. And if there were, I probably wouldn't believe it because she's just a hustler at heart. Right.
Right. She'd figure out a way to manipulate it into
victimhood
somehow. Right.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was actually thinking of her personality this week. Like, I don't know if you ever saw this episode of the X-Files where there was this creature that it was like a human form, but he absorbed people's pain and anger and sadness and frustration. You know, he fed off of it. That was kind of like and Scully and Mulder had to go figure it out. Right.
Wow.
And I feel like this is what she was, you know, a being that like got energized and got her self-worth and everything on the heels of her daughter being absolutely treated like crap, getting these surgeries she didn't need, you know, but it fed her, right? Hurting her own daughter fed her.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just a reverse kind of idea of love and feeling good about oneself. Like it's so beyond the pale, you know?
This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. Summer's almost out and fall's calling. Luckily, Nordstrom has everything you need for the season ahead, all under $100. Discover new arrivals from your favorite brands like Mango, Princess Polly, Wave, Free People, BDG, and more. Whether you're planning a last-minute getaway, heading back to class, or refreshing your office looks, you'll find the latest trends and beauty must-haves without breaking your budget. It's easy, too, with free shipping, free returns, and in-store order pickup. Shop today, in stores, and at Nordstrom.com.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Growing your e-commerce business comes with plenty of hurdles, but shipping shouldn't be one of them. Well, here's some good news. Powerful e-commerce shipping software called ShipExcel from Pitney Bowes. With ShipExcel, you can generate discounted shipping labels for both online and offline orders. That saves time and money with everything right at your fingertips. Start your free trial of ShipExcel from Pitney Bowes today.
Right now, at the Home Depot, you'll find storage solutions made to fit your needs. Grab an HDX Tough Tote to protect your tools. Or keep your sports equipment contained with reinforced snap-fit lids. Or stack up and make better use of your space with bins and totes built to last. Whatever you're storing, we've got the gear to keep it organized and protected at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
You know, we talked about crime and punishment. We've talked about that a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and is it fair that Gypsy gets 10 years and, you know, Nicholas is going to be in prison for the rest of his life with no possibility of parole? You know, I don't know.
I honestly don't know. There's two very distinct paths that I could take here. One of them is that she had been manipulated her entire life, so it was easy for her to be manipulated again by a forceful entity that she respected or loved or feared or wanted, you know, approval from or whatever. Okay. So she was just ripe and ready to be manipulated. Okay. She also grew up with a hustler, knowing in her heart that I can walk, I can do shit. Don't answer the question if they ask about your legs. Stroke this fucking stuffed animal and fucking be sad and right, like all that shit, right? So she knew how to play the fucking game. So
absolutely.
So that's the other part of me. Did she play like the victim card? Like I was a victim before, I was a victim again. I loved him. I loved my mom. She did this. I loved him. He made me do this. I honestly could be convinced either way.
Well, and like, who was hustling who? Like, was Gypsy hustling him, or was Nick?
Oh gosh.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's like, that's the thing. And I think the difference here, though, is that Gypsy's background, the mitigating circumstances, absolutely. I feel like, she is a true victim. But Nick Godejohn, he did not grow up in this abusive, family life, at least not to my knowledge. And it doesn't sound like it at all. And he went ahead with this. And if you could say that he was manipulated by Gypsy, well, then I think in a previous episode, you said something about somebody we were talking about, and I can't remember which episode it was, but it was very on point, I think, and made me think, where if somebody is this easily manipulated, they don't deserve to walk around with the rest of us. And it just is kind of like, it's scary to think about it. Like, there's people that, given a certain set of circumstances, will do horrible things,
Yeah, so that's a really interesting take, that if she was the master manipulator this whole time and knew she needed to get rid of her mom and set up this Godejohn dude, but it would really be hard to unpack that, because the ferocity of her love and attraction seemed really genuine. Okay.
It did.
Of what
I agree.
she'd been denied for so long, all through those hormonal years, from her teens up into her fucking 20s. Okay. Just wanting to be a sexual being and wanting to experience that and be a woman and be attracted and be attractive to somebody, right? That's such a huge part of our existence, and so to jump into that, I don't blame her. But that doesn't also mean that at the same time she was fucking playing chess to go to John's fucking, vampire marbles, right? And just had him like around her finger, and could just, almost like she like incepted him, like planted the idea, hey, we should kill my mom. So then it's his idea all of a sudden, and he plans the whole thing. She's like, oh, my hero, don't kill me too, raging bloodlusty monster, right? And he's like, yeah, you better stay in the fucking bathroom, take your damn clothes off, I'm gonna go kill, and it worked. What a perfect crime if that's the truth, right?
I mean, I definitely think that she was living with a master manipulator, and I really hope that, and I'm sure she is getting therapy, because I do think that she, like during his trial, I felt like she was being incredibly honest and was just like, she wasn't trying to throw him under the bus, and she was just wanting to tell the truth. And I think that, when you are raised like that, I feel like she felt like a prisoner, and she just wanted to escape, but didn't have the tools to know what to do or where to turn. And it's so tragic, the thing about her dad, where it's like she had no idea that this entire family line wanted to be in her life,
And the dad didn't.
And then to find,
imagine her dad finding out that his daughter didn't have all of these illnesses. How fucking relieved as a parent he was that his daughter's got a clean bill of health, but then like all the years lost, just years lost of being in his daughter's life. Like that must be brutal. What do you think? I'm sorry. What do you think about the 10-year sentence for Gypsy?
I mean, part of me felt like it was harsh, but then another part of me felt like it was fair. But then another part of me felt like, when you juxtapose that to Nicholas Godejohn, like I feel like Gypsy was a complete victim, and my heart goes out to her, and I just feel like, at the end of the day, I think she is a really good person, but I do think that it's such a wacky situation, unbelievable situation.
She wanted her mother dead. They had the plan together. Plan B existed with her in agreement. She never denied that. She didn't say he forced Plan B on me. Our Plan B was killing my mom. So there was a part of her that wanted her mom dead.
I know, and that's why I feel conflicted by it all the time. I mean, I don't have a clear-cut answer for you. Like
same. I don't either.
part of me feels like, oh my gosh, 10 years. She's already been 23 years in this wheelchair prison, right? Yeah. 23, almost a quarter of a century. Oh. And all of her life, she has been a prisoner. And now she spends 10 more years behind bars as a prisoner.
She gets out in like 2 weeks, right?
She does. And she would say, I have felt more free in prison because I can be a woman. And that's her terms. She said, a woman, because she is one. She is a woman and has been for quite a long time.
Are there pictures of her now in prison? Can we see what she looks like?
Yeah. Really? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's Google that. Maybe I'll put a link in the description of the show. Mm-hmm. Here's what Gypsy Rose looks like. Wonder what she's going to do when she gets out.
I think that she'll probably be like an advocate for Munchausen by proxy. I mean, I can see her doing a lot of really good work, and I hope that that's where it goes. And I hope that she's gotten, therapy because, when you are raised a certain way and with the manipulator like this, you can't help but be like a total manipulator. I mean, it's second nature. You can see her leaning into it during that interview when they were first talking to her. I mean, she went into it like a duck to water, like a little birdie, flying out of the nest and instantly knowing how to fly. Like she was like, did the whole thing. Well, we were in, we lost our pay. We're Hurricane Katrina survivors and we don't have my birth certificate. Right. And she just like went into the whole entire thing. It was like nothing to her. It was like, so I just think that, you need to work through that kind of toxic parenting that she received from her mother. And I think that she'll be able to do good in the world if she chooses to do that.
All right, two things. Did you watch the whole Dr. Phil interview with her? What was his take? Did he press her at all? Or was he like, oh, you poor victim?
I didn't watch the entire interview, but I feel like, I think with most people, my sense was the way that he was talking to her was kind of hardball because of that, she can't, how do you walk that back? The Brownie thing.
Oh, the day after her mom's dead? Yeah. Like the next day. Yeah. And he whacked up and makes all these Facebook posts. Yeah.
Right. And she can't hide behind being a little girl. No. Like this is a hotel room. She's 23. She's absolutely on board with all of it, and so, which is fine. She should be able to do that if she hadn't just been a part of killing her mother.
I wish if it was a regular 23-year-old, you'd be like, who gives a shit? Leave him alone. Right. But they had just conspired to murder her mother. So last question that I have for you. What do you think about Godejohn with life without parole? In the absence, I mean, was there a psych evaluation? Like, is he mentally okay to understand it with his alleged multiple personality, all this vampire nonsense?
He had been diagnosed from the police interview that I heard with his mother. He'd been diagnosed with autism. And so they were trying to, make that a part of the trial. And which I think is a relevant point, not because, autism, if you have autism, that you're going to be susceptible to killing someone. Not at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, you need to look at the full picture when you're putting someone behind bars.
That's a piece of the puzzle. It is. That's definitely a piece of the puzzle.
Yes. And I also think that, he's been trying to get a new trial and that there was I think that his interview with the police has like over 1 million downloads. And so did he really get a fair trial? If you listen to his interview, I think that, he's I don't know if it shows him in the best light possible. We couldn't use a lot of the audio because unfortunately, as Brandon pointed out, it was
dog shit.
Really cool. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I know I can always be real. My head never inflates when I talk to you ever.
It's not your fault that the audio was dog shit. You didn't record it. Did you record it? Kidding.
I'm about ready to get beat.
You stay in the bathroom. You stay in the goddamn bathroom. You lock the door.
Okay. Don't drink my blood.
I might not be able to help myself.
Unless you really be careful. Oh my gosh, then we could be vampires together. Oh
Right?
my gosh. No. Okay, so I'm just saying that I feel conflicted because if he could be manipulated in this way to do this, to your point from a previous episode, which I've been thinking about, like, was this a one-time thing that it just so happened that, because we've talked about this before in previous episodes where it's like, we're both the type of people where I think that we could have gone right instead of left and had completely different lives.
Yeah.
And we're both very happy with the lives that we are so fortunate to have. You know, you separately, obviously, me separately. You know, we have loving families. And I think that it could have gone with a lot of people. You know, you could have hooked up with the wrong guy or whatever, and then your life is completely different. And they're just the perfect person to manipulate you into doing stuff. It wouldn't be murder, but it would just be like losing yourself and your identity and just becoming, you know, not your best self. So I think that I don't know how I feel about him because I do think he was absolutely madly in love with her. And I believe that had he not met her, he would have never killed anybody.
I don't know. I got to be honest, because it takes a certain type of mentality. It takes a certain type of ruthlessness that I've never met in my life, and I don't want to stand over a completely defenseless sleeping woman and stab her 17 times in the back.
Right. But we've already talked about how they were very immature about their ideas of, in their minds, she was a villain.
Right.
Like
No, I get it. But with everybody that I've ever met, and I hope to ever meet in my life, there's a firewall, there's a failsafe, there's a fucking emotional governor, something that at the moment you're like, I'm not a murderer. I don't care how much I love this girl that I'm forcing to stay in the bathroom naked right now. I'm sorry. I don't care how great I think the fake rape sex is going to be in 10 minutes after I kill her. I'm not a murderer. So we got to rethink plan B. And something in him drove right through those red flags and just boom and started plunging that knife, right?
I know, and I agree. That's why I was bringing up a previous episode where, you know, you had brought up a really great point about if somebody's capable of doing that, you know, they don't deserve to be out there with the rest of us, right? I think that's a direct quote, because it's like, yeah, you're right. If somebody doesn't have those fail safes, that internal check of like, hey, you know, maybe I shouldn't have, you know, gone to this party because he said I should go or whatever. Like, okay, that's one thing, but actually like murdering a defenseless person who's sleeping and doing so and having fantasies about raping their, I mean, that was real. He you know, he said that was one of the conditions. So yeah, you're right. And having that be the case, then, you know, I guess he got what he deserved.
Yeah. I guess so too.
It's just that because we know what the mom was,
right?
You know, it's like
the most interesting thing of all of this to me is when you said, was she really the master manipulator, allowing him to believe that she was being manipulated and that she was buying his line of vampire bullshit, right? Like if she wasn't buying it, but was pretending she was, all in an effort to get him to murder her mom. And she's like, I'll roll the dice and maybe do a little piece of time on it. And then I'm free. Whew, that's fucking diabolical.
But I don't think that's true because
I don't think it is either, but I want it to be true. That's the interesting part.
I know. Because that's what we do. We want to make these people.
Well, because it would be Shakespearean, right? It would
absolutely
be, right. The engineer hoist on his own petard, right? If the woman who was manipulating her gave her the tools to be able to manipulate her instead and get her killed. I
know, but if we were actually watching this as a movie, we would want the mom to be killed because of how
100%.
horrible.
100%.
I know.
Fuck
with the feeding tube and all of that. Like we would be doing it ourselves.
Oh,
and
I can't even. Oh, gosh.
That's the difference between fantasy, because we know it's fantasy and we're watching a movie and we can get all like into it because we know it's not real. And these guys made it real. They wanted the fantasy. They wanted to do this role-playing BDSM, you know, Twilight, all that stuff. And they made it real. And maybe that's what they needed, or what Gypsy needed to pull the trigger and have him do this for her.
Wow. Wow. All right. Well, very disturbing episode. I'm glad I didn't Google it. I'm glad I was able to learn and figure it all out along with the audience this week. So I enjoyed it. Thank you very much. So, thank you again for dropping by and spending time with us today. We appreciate all of our listeners. Thank you very much.
Criminal Mischief Nation.
Criminal
Thank you
Mischief
so
Nation.
much.
Please consider supporting the great companies that support our show, because without them and without you, it would just be Carolyn and I making bad jokes and her getting mad at me.
Okay, stop.
So we appreciate it, and I would appreciate you checking out The Devil Within. New season drops on Wednesday the 6th. First episode of a 6-episode series, and then there'll be some bonus episodes after that. So I'd appreciate you checking it out. And I think we might have a sneak peek, or we might the episode will be out there, so it won't really be a sneak peek, but we're going to be highlighting episode 1 on next week's episode. Is that true?
Yes, that is true. You guys have to check out. We're going to make you check out whether you want to or not.
It might be worth it. Maybe we do, since episode 1 will already be out, do we maybe do a little preview of 2?
Yeah, whatever you want to do. It's such a great show, and I think that let's maybe do episode 1, and then maybe, I don't know, we'll surprise you guys.
We'll ask the network brass too and see what they want to do. But either way, we're going to be doing a little cross promotion here, which is something that Carolyn and I have always talked about being able to do with our respective projects and with the projects that we do together. And we're lucky enough, through a lot of hard work, to get to a point now where we're able to do stuff like that. So I'm very grateful for the relationship. So hope you enjoy. Yeah, hope you enjoy what we've been doing, and hope you stick around. So thank you very much. Please give us a rate and a review over at Apple Podcasts if you get a chance. Just tell your friends about it. It helps out more than you know. Carolyn, anything you'd like to add?
Nope. Until next time.
Stay safe out there.
From Cloud 10, Criminal Mischief is a pie-in-the-sky production recorded in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're produced by Brandon Morgan and myself. Music by Soundstripe. I'm Carolyn Osorio, your writer and host.